I've got some brutal news, guys. Stay tuned. What's going on, my YouTube friends? This is Jerry Abbott, your #1 real estate resource here in Las Vegas. As you guys know, I always keep it 100% real on this channel regarding real estate, so make sure you subscribe down below and definitely give me a thumbs up like if you really want the cold, hard facts about Las Vegas real estate. Let's dive into the video. All right, guys, before we dive into the real meat and potatoes of the video, I just want to mention two quick things. Number one, I just want to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed to this channel. I've just reached 25,000 subscribers, which is absolutely unbelievable. I never in a million years thought that was going to happen. I remember when I had just a couple of subscribers. So if I could give all of you a big hug or a fist bump, I would. So a big shout out to all of you for subscribing to the channel. And number two, I've decided to make a little bit of a career change, guys, based on the information that I just received. My entire objective for this channel going forward will always to bring you guys the cold, hard facts about the real estate market, specific also to the Las Vegas market. So in order for me to do that, what I'm going to do with this channel is focus directly on bringing you guys that information every week, and I'm going to forego working directly with clients. But what I can do is if you guys want to text me or email me at any time when you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, just reach out to me through text or through email, and I will connect you with a partner or a couple of partners that I work with here directly that can absolutely help you find that perfect dream home. Let's dive into the rest of the video right now. All right, guys, let's take a look at this first segment. Now, this is really the elephant in the room. This was the banking crisis that happened a couple of weeks ago. This article just came out from CNN Business talking about what the banking crisis means for mortgage rates. Now, we're going to take a look at this video clip coming up. It's only about 30 seconds long. But before we look at that, guys, I want you just to take a look at this. We scroll down here, talks about what's behind the roller coaster ride of interest rates. Now, mortgage rates topped out at 7% back in November. So if we take a look here, this chart goes back over 30 years. But I want you to just focus right down here at the bottom where I'm moving the arrow. That was right at the start of the pandemic, and rates were incredibly low, record low levels at less than 3%. And then everything started to change in the last year, and they spiked all the way up to about 7%, and it says it's currently holding at 6.4% by March 23rd. Now, that's really not the true aggregate total. The aggregate, you'll see in just a second in the video coming up, is well over 7%. So let's first take a look at this video, and then we'll come back to it.
Our expectation is that, like some of your earlier speakers, the Fed is going to keep rates higher for longer, and that's going to put some upward pressure on rates. So we may not yet have seen an ultimate peak in mortgage rates. That the higher the Fed needs to hold the short-term rates in order to tame inflation, that's going to put pressure on upward rates, upward pressure on longer-term rates, including for mortgage rates. And so we may see a peak early in 2023.
All right, so you guys saw in that video clip right there that they're still predicting that the Fed is going to raise rates as we go through this year. But take a look at this screenshot that I just took from that video. The real number on the 30-year fixed is 7.4%. Now, they're predicting 7.1% by year's end. I actually don't think that's going to happen. I think rates are going to stay elevated the whole year because the Fed definitely needs more control with inflation, and they have not done that great a job yet. Rates are still needing to go up in order for us to curb inflation. But take a look at the number to the right side there, where it says 28%. The average mortgage payment is now 28% higher from a year ago. This is making it miserable for home buyers. That's why if you can sit tight and wait things out, at least for home prices to come down to offset these higher rates, that's the best option right now, in my opinion. All right, guys, in this next segment, I want you to watch this 40-second YouTube video clip from a very popular podcaster. I like his content, and he sums up how the real estate market is broken in about 40 seconds. I think it's fantastic. We'll come back to that right after we watch this clip.
To average price of home that's sold, meaning if I'm making $100,000 and the average house that was selling is $200,000, that's what? 2 times,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Typically, this number historically in America has been at 3.5 times, 4 times. You know what it was in '08?
What?
In '08, it was 8 times. Do you know what it is today? 8.5 times. So what is that telling you? Listen, these people cannot afford 8.5 times. The few of us can. The average person making $60K, they cannot afford a $500,000 house.
Right.
That's what the number is.
So that really sums up, guys, perfectly how broken the real estate market is. If you heard him at the very beginning of the video clip, it talks about how if you were making $100,000 a year, the average person would buy about a $350,000 to $400,000 home, typically in a normal real estate market. But because of inflation, we're now at 8.5 times that. So if somebody's making $100,000 a year, they cannot afford an $850,000 home. In fact, when he talked about 2008, when things were about to crash, we were at 8 times the level. Now we're at 8.5 times the level. So this really just perfectly sums up how broken the industry is. And I think we're actually heading for a cliff because a lot of people are not going to be able to handle mortgage payments of this magnitude when rates stay this high, if not go higher. All right, guys, in this next segment, I want to show you another quick video clip from a popular YouTuber who's talking about the top 10 cities where home prices are going to crash in 2023. Now, I know there's some people like him and myself out there that talk about the market in a negative way, but these are some cold, hard facts, guys. I want you to take a look at this. This is a really good clip from him. We'll come back to the video in just a second.
In our number 2 housing market that's set to crash in 2023, we're almost at number 1, everyone. Stay with me. You're going to want to see what this number 1 city is, but we got to talk about number 2 first, because number 2 is a historically volatile housing market. Like Phoenix, it's very boom or bust, and we have entered the bust stage definitively in Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas is a housing market that's dominated by investors and tourist demand, which are things that do not fare well in a recession, and we are already seeing that play out when we look at inventory in Las Vegas, which has skyrocketed over the last year from 3,900 homes for sale all the way up to 8,500 homes for sale, 25% above the long-run average for January. That added inventory is putting a lot of pressure on sellers in Vegas to cut the price, and boy, are we going to see price cuts continue over the next year or two. Because the data I'm looking at has Vegas pegged as still 26% overvalued. The prices have already gone down by about 10%. I think they could go down by another 26%. And so this is the thing to understand about this housing crash in 2023 is that some people say, oh, it's not going to be nearly as bad as the one in 2007. And that might be true in certain cities. Vegas went down 60% in that last downturn, and it could go down 30 to 35% in this downturn.
All right, so as you saw in that clip, that person is predicting that Las Vegas is going to be the number 2 city overall throughout the entire United States for potentially the largest downturn in the real estate market. Now, he thinks prices are going to go down another 25%, and I actually think he's pretty accurate with that. I don't know really for sure. Nobody knows. Nobody has a crystal ball. But with way rates are, historically, Las Vegas has taken some of the biggest hits in the real estate market, and I don't think it's going to be any time different this time around with rates being as high as they are. All right, guys, now let's have a little bit of fun. I want to drill down and show you a few different examples here in Las Vegas. I'm going to use the popular website Zillow. I know a lot of people use this website, so I just want to show you a couple of examples here at all different price points here in Las Vegas to give you a pretty good idea as to what's going on with some of the homes here that are listed for sale. So let's take a look at this first one here on Zillow. Now, this is obviously a luxury home. I know a lot of people can't afford a home that's in the $4 million range, but I want you to first see what's happening in the luxury market. So let's take a look right here. $4.35 million is now the list price, but right underneath it you see price cut of $650,000 that happened right at the beginning of March. That means this home was listed originally at $5 million. Now, they've taken $650,000 off it, but the Zestimate right there says $4 million. Now, the Zestimate is the algorithm that Zillow uses to determine the current market value of a home. Now, a lot of people give me grief about this because they say that the Zestimate is not accurate, and it isn't 100% accurate, but their algorithm has gotten better. So I want you guys to at least get an idea as to what's going on here at the luxury market level. This home that was priced at $5 million is basically $1 million overpriced compared to the algorithm that the Zestimate from Zillow is using. Now, if we scroll down here a little bit deeper, I want you guys to take a look at this chart right here. So right here, July of 2022, last year, this home was valued at $5.7 million. Right there, we're moving the arrow. That means this home has lost about almost 30% of the market value peak from last year. So I think the luxury market is going to take the biggest hit in this downturn coming up. And I want to show you now in the next clip, a mid-level luxury home, just to show you again how these price declines are happening because the market has changed dramatically. All right, let's take a look at this example, guys. Now, we definitely have left the luxury category. We're coming down now to a more normalized price point. We're still not at the average price, but I want you at least to take a look at this example here. Take a look at the numbers here next to my picture. This home is listed for basically $800,000. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,700 square foot home. So again, it's not a big home, and that's a pretty big number, guys. But take a look at this. The price cut right underneath it says $100,000. That means they just reduced the price from $900,000 to $800,000. But again, if you take a look at the Zestimate, they're only estimating this home to be $771,000. Now, again, that's not 100% accurate, but it's pretty close. So they're still too high in the Zillow estimate. But take a look at this as we scroll down here. This is really what's shocking more than anything else. In August of 2022, right there in that history chart, this home was valued at $1.2 million. So this just goes to show you this home has lost a third of its value since the peak of last year. Now, with interest rates soaring, the price points are coming down. So again, if you're a buyer, if you can be patient, this is what's happening as you wait this out, because again, the buyer demand is diminishing and people are forced to capitulate on prices, whether it's new home builders or home sellers like this. They are not getting the numbers that they had last year. So prices are coming down, and I think that's going to continue as we go through this year. All right, let's take a look at one final example here. Now, this is closer to the average price point here in Las Vegas. This home is listed at $499,000, but you see right underneath there, it says price cut $11,000. So again, this home was listed at $510,000, so it was really not too far out of line from where the estimate is, where it's showing right here in the Zestimate at $483,000. So this is really not too far off, but I want you to take a look here in the description. You can see right down here, it says it's been on Zillow for 80 days, but take a look at the description here. It says reduced, seller will contribute 3% towards closing costs or further upgrades for an acceptable offer. So this seller is trying desperately to sell the home. They've already reduced the price. They're still a little bit high, but they're willing to offer seller incentives. So again, it doesn't matter if it's a luxury priced home that I showed you earlier in those clips where it's very much overpriced, or this one, which is more in line with where the value is. Sellers still are offering these kinds of incentives to buyers because they're having trouble moving some of these homes. So again, it's advantageous for buyers to be patient like this, because there are deals, whether it's at the lower levels like this or at the luxury levels. The deals are there to be had if you stay patient. All right, guys, so my personal opinion on the housing market is we are definitely headed for more of a correction than most people originally thought. The Fed is not done raising rates. They're likely to raise again this year. I think the unemployment numbers are going to go up. People are not going to be able to handle 7.5% or 8% type of mortgage payments. I think the buyer pool is going to diminish, and it's going to make home builders and home sellers capitulate on prices. It might take the rest of this year. It might take into 2024. So be patient if you're thinking of buying a home. Just wait it out a little bit if you can, and just be patient, because I definitely think prices are coming down as we go through the rest of this year and into 2024. All right, guys, before we end the video, I just want to add one new segment here called Cool Comments. Now, obviously, I've got a lot of people that watch and comment on my videos, and I read and respond to all of them. So what I want you guys to do is think of a really cool or creative comment, post it down below, and the one that I like the most, I'm going to give you guys a direct shout out in my next video. So make sure you comment down below, and of course, like the video as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and my overall honest approach to the real estate market. I will always keep this channel 100% real and give you guys the cold hard facts about real estate, specific obviously here to Las Vegas. And if you guys are thinking about relocating to beautiful Las Vegas, that contact information that you see on screen right there, you can text me or email me, and I'll be more than happy to help refer you to one of my direct partners here to help you find that perfect dream home. I'll see you guys in the next video.